Well, that Trump train keeps it chugging along, picking up steam and more passengers along the way. In fact, in the latest CNN ORC poll, Trump remains at the top. He's got 27%. Ben Carson at number 2, very solid 22%. And Marco Rubio, perhaps the last establishment candidate standing, we'll see 8%. But there's a lot of plots right now to derail this Trump juggernaut. Joining me now, Kirsten Haglund, Styrk anchor in Miss America 2008. Back with me, Katrina Pierson and Byron York. Byron, you wrote a piece, an article here, talking about how panicked the establishment is, and I guess they're ready to dip into that war chest to go to war with Donald Trump.
Yeah, they are. I think the last 3 or 4 days have been kind of a turning point in the campaign in this sense. You had a large number of the Republican establishment kind of scoffing at the Trump candidacy, saying that he's bound to fail, he's going to fall, he's going to explode, he's going to fade, something's going to happen, but he's not going to get the nomination. And I think what you saw in the last few days is when you look at Trump's dip in the polls in late September has been now accompanied by a rise in the polls. And I think a lot of them began to say, wow, he could win. Not saying he will, but he could win the nomination. So there's a significant number of them who want to stop him, and they still believe in one thing, and that is negative ads work. They can stop a candidacy. So what you're going to see in the next couple of months is some big Republican donors putting a lot of money together for a really big anti-Trump ad campaign in the early states.
Kirsten, do you think, though, that it will work in a sense? It feels like Donald Trump has blunted this to a certain degree, gotten in front of it by saying, anytime you see a negative ad about me, it's paid for by someone who does not have your best interests at heart.
You're exactly right. And all of the conventional wisdom about Donald Trump up until this point has fallen flat. That's why the political establishment and elites in Washington are going, why is he still on top, right? So I think that these negative campaign ads, while they maybe have derailed other former candidates, that they're not necessarily going to work with Trump. They will embolden his supporters who are already used to defending him when he gets attacked. That's what they do. But number two, it's going to make Republicans look really bad when it comes to the general, because if the Democrats unite among, behind Hillary Clinton, and you've got Republicans just in this mudslinging fest of negative campaign ads, it's not going to look good.
Although I got to tell you, Katrina, I haven't seen anyone really fight back against Donald Trump. I know he says he's a counterpuncher. I feel like Jeb is like mealy-mouthed. I don't know. He's the kind of guy that wouldn't have taken on the school bully as, he would have talked about it and written something up in a school newspaper about it. But I'm talking fisticuffs. If these ads get down and dirty and they pull out any kind of dirt they can on Donald Trump and they start to say, hey, and they will. I mean, listen, they'll say things like, he was a Democrat until a few years ago. He was for this until a few years ago. Hey, you know what? The religious right. You say you like this guy liked that. I mean, at some point, maybe they put something of a dent in this runaway train?
No, Charles, I don't think so at all, because all that negativity is baked into the phenomenon of Donald Trump. He's been very open about his past positions, and he's talked about how he feels today and why he supports what he supports today, and they're definitely going to try. But, like everyone else said, they are going to go out there and try to do these horrible things to him. And the reason why no one's fought back is because every time they do, they go down in the polls. So it's going to look like the big, mean establishment's trying to take out the people's choice. And it's going to be interesting because it's not a Ben Carson pack or a Ted Cruz pack. It's going to be the Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio pack. And I think it's going to fall flat on his face.